Welcome to Sports Talk with the Jersey Guys. We do nothing but sit around, drink beer, and talk sports. I'm Mike Miller, it's David Hesselfeld, and Mike McConville.
What's up?
And we're going to talk about a very serious issue in the NFL right now. About a week and a half ago, right? Week and a half?
About a week and a half, 2 weeks, something around there.
The New Orleans Saints were officially busted for running a bounty program where the defensive coordinator, other defensive coaches, as well as defensive players, put bounties, monetary bounties on other players. I believe it was, $1,500 for a knockout, $1,000 for a card off, which is against league policy. And
15,000 between 1,500.
1,500, you know what I meant.
15,000.
15,000 might actually have been worth it that time.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, this is just
Yeah.
play money for
Play
these
money.
guys.
Yeah.
But
Night out at the bar.
it's also in a lot of hot water because it circumvents the cap because it's extra money that's being paid out from the teams, whether it's from a player or the team itself.
Illegal gambling.
That's pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
In a sense,
Basically, yeah.
FBI's getting involved.
Yeah.
But for those of you who don't know, the
Which should be
Saints
very few.
organization,
Yeah.
the Saints organization was fined $500,000 and lost their second-round draft picks for the next 2 years. The general manager, Mickey Loomis, suspended without pay, right? For the first 8 games.
8 games. Starting what? Beginning of preseason?
The
Last game preseason?
beginning
Yeah.
of game right
Yeah,
after
the regular season. So it's literally the first 8 games of the regular season. Sean Payton was suspended the full year without pay,
April 1st.
which is huge.
So the day after the Super Bowl.
Which is huge. Never been done before. An NFL head coach suspended a full season. Never. And Rams defensive coordinator, who was the former
Defensive
coordinator for the Saints, Gregg Williams, is suspended indefinitely without pay. And he has to wait a full year before he can apply for reinstatement.
Yep.
This is huge, guys. This is unprecedented action by the NFL. I've never seen anything like this. What do you guys think?
It's Goodell making a statement. Goodell doesn't want to be known as this pushover anymore.
Mhm.
As this little, I don't know, he seemed kind of weak when he was going through negotiations. And this is the way to kick it in gears. Like, I am the commissioner. This is my NFL. You know, you're gonna play by my rules. I mean, this is big news. Payton for 1 whole year. I mean,
That's big.
that's huge. You lose your coach, your
leader.
essentially your leader, your go-to guy.
Your mentor, the guy you
Yeah.
look up to.
I don't think it's a strong enough penalty.
Oh.
Yes, it's severe, but this will definitely get the point across to other teams and other players.
Yeah.
But come on, they lied about it for 2 or 3 years.
True.
And
What would
compared to the time that they've gotten off with this, compared to the time they're all suspended, it's ridiculous. Yes, Goodell did bring the hammer down,
yes?
but he should have brought the fucking wrecking ball down on these
What
guys.
else could he have done?
What would you suggest he would have went on to do more?
Since this was Gregg Williams who did this stuff and instituted the bounty program, for more than just the Saints, might I add. Suspended, no, not suspended, banned from the NFL for life. This guy should not have a chance to come back into the league and possibly cause more harm to other players. Why?
I think if this guy does end up getting back, he is not going to do this again because he's a defensive coordinator. He can't afford to lose a full
What
year's
team would
pay
want
plus
that?
more.
That person in their locker room now again. What owner, I should say, would want that person in the
Not
locker
a
room
lot of
again?
them. I know
You
I
know?
wouldn't want him.
And
I mean, I feel bad for Sean Payton a little bit for him being out a year. I mean, Sean Payton or Goodell should have said suspension starts the day after the NFL draft, so he can still be with his team, helping out through the year. But then from the day after the NFL draft, give him one full, if I have the dates right, one full calendar year. From the day after the draft to the same date, 1 year, 365 days later.
you know, I don't feel sorry for Peyton, not at all. Dude lied. Plain and simple. He lied. He lied to Goodell. He lied to a lot of other people. No, but okay, I give him this fact that as a person who played football and as a person who's been in a locker room or something like that, okay, your coach, you want that person to be the one who stands up for the team, who wants to sit there and who's going to take the fall, which he has. Okay, I respect him on that. Do I feel sorry for him? No, because he lied. He lied to Goodell. Okay, you don't lie to your boss, on your job. Yeah, you may lie to your underlings to try to save face. You may lie to another team to save face. But when you're boss and you lie to him constantly, and then he finds out, that's what you get.
See, but the thing I think was too light was the fine and the draft picks.
True.
That was not enough for the team. I mean, yes, you don't want to cripple a team, but for what they did.
They got free agency.
Exactly. $500,000 and 2 second-round picks. Granted, they don't have a first-rounder this year.
That's going to hurt them this
but
year.
you give them they still have a first-rounder for next year, so why couldn't you take that?
I would have took that.
Guys,
I mean, why not, $1 million?
Why not really hurt them?
let's get real.
Or just take
this.
some money off their cap.
Yeah,
Okay.
he lied.
Yes.
He lied. All right, that's fine. But this.
You
the
cover-up is always worse than the actual crime.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which is why I think this is ridiculous. Look, 15, 20 years ago, no one would have paid any attention to this.
But that's 15 or 20 years ago. The NFL today is a different game from what it was 10 years ago.
And that's what I'm starting to have a problem with this is. This is football. This is a man's sport. This is the tough guys. The only problem I have with this is the circumvention of the cap. I don't have a problem.
Players going out there purposely just go out there to hurt other people.
You don't want to
guys say it all the. That's why
you don't want to give them an incentive to go out.
That is the only thing that I have a problem with. Is that it circumvents the cap. Yeah. Anything other than that, I have no problem with.
I agree with you on that point because as a player and you go out there, okay, granted you don't want to end the person's career, but you want to hit them hard. No. You want to shake them up. You want to rattle them. But you don't want to sit there and have an incentive for that guy. If you put him out, you're going to, I'll give you this much amount of money. That's the big thing.
That's what I have a problem with.
But here's the
and that's not even for the fact that they're getting an incentive for it. It's the fact that it's a violation of the cap. That's what I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with the whole idea of a bounty because that's the way it used to be done. That's the way it was back in the old school football days. Back when it was rough, tough football. Guys got hurt. Guys ended their careers. There's guys who are paralyzed. But they knew what they were getting into when they did it. That is the game.
But
that is how you play the game. That's what happens. If you don't want to do it, if you don't want to take that risk, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Rules change. Things change throughout the years. Basketball wasn't the same 10, 20 years ago. More rules are added. People's safeties are added. NASCAR wasn't the same 10, 20 years ago. Safety was safety's added. They did a lot of stuff with safeties and stuff like that. People back then knew what they were getting into when they were cars. People back then knew what they were getting into driving around cars and they get in the car.
I understand that.
Okay.
And they dealt with it.
They got to think about
safety of people. But I don't want the NFL to try and make this be a safety issue when, that's part of it.
But it is a safety issue.
Hold up. Let me finish. That's part of it. But the big thing that's got Goodell in a hissy fit is that they found a way to get more money to their players and circumvent the cap. And it caught Goodell and the commission and the league with their pants down because they're like, whoa, wait a second. These guys were out doing a violation of the cap.
Wait, you think this is what it's about? You think it's about them circumventing the cap?
I think that's a big part of it.
Are you
That's a big part of it. Yes, I am serious. I think it's a big part of it.
No, this is about one guy telling other players, I'll give you X amount of money if you take this player out. If you take a player out, I'll give you this amount of money.
So you're saying if there wasn't money involved, like there is with all the other teams, I guarantee you the other 31 teams have assistant coaches who are saying, I want you to go take that guy out. I want you to go take them out. But because there's no money involved, they're getting away with it. And you're telling me that's not happening. You're telling me that the other 31 teams in this league, there are assistant coaches and defensive coordinators that are saying, go out there and knock that guy out of the game.
I agree
But
with you
because
on
they're
that.
not getting money, they're not getting, reprimanded for it.
What happened is Peyton got caught.
Peyton got caught giving
Unfortunately,
money
you
for it,
think
the
which
Harbaugh-
is a circumvention of
You
the
think
cap.
Andy Reid would put up with that shit in his locker room? You think
Hell no.
Harbaugh would put up with that in their locker rooms? Pete Carroll? Fucking no one.
I think you don't know these guys as well as you think you do.
I seriously do not think that these guys, these stand-up citizens that they are,
Are you
that
in the
I know.
locker room with
Okay,
them?
no, I'm talking about Andy Reid right now. He would not take this, and if Juan Castillo did this, he'd be out the door faster than you could say bye, bitch.
How do you know Juan Castillo doesn't go up to his guys and say, I want you to knock that guy out this play? You don't know that. We're not there on the sidelines. We're not there in the locker rooms.
Look at their
You don't know
defense.
what goes on.
Just look at their defense. They're not going after leveling guys.
They have guys who can hit. Every team has guys who can knock someone out of a game.
I'm not saying that.
I will
But-
say one thing about, maybe Ray Lewis. I'm sure their defensive coordinator, even with Harbaugh being there, I said, I need you to hit this guy hard. I need you to try to get this guy out. Okay, I do agree with you on the fact that there's coaches that will say that's up. The money part, the question is where's that money coming from? Is it coming from the team, as in the organization, or is it coming from the players? Because if it's coming from the players, it doesn't
still, though,
it's still money that's given to other
Still.
players, which still
for
for a limited-
football acts.
yeah.
It's football acts that they're
And
getting
it's
paid
still
money for,
get a little
which
bit
is
of the cap.
circumventing the cap.
Okay, yes, but the thing was, I think this was the right choice for Goodell to do on that because he needed to get his point across. Okay, he had to because if he would have went easy on it, another team would. I mean, they're still probably gonna do it, but it won't be as severe. Or another team may cover it up better. But now he has the other teams thinking. He has the defensive coach now thinking, should I do this?
Look, I understand. This
They
is
shouldn't
Goodell's
do this
league.
in the first place.
They shouldn't. No,
This is
I
Goodell's
agree.
league.
It should not be done. But unfortunately, the nature of football, it is.
This is Goodell's league, and he's going to do what he wants, and he has the power to do what he wants. He has his check and balance, which is the NFLPA, which is fine, and the owners. And I understand why he did this. He doesn't like this. He didn't want it in his league, which is fine. You know what? It's his league. He's got to do what he's got to do. This is to make an example.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what it is. What I'm saying is, if this was done even 6-7 years ago,
Under the
It
old
would
person,
be-
no.
if it was under Goodell's first year, I can't imagine him taking this stand on it. Times have changed. I understand that player safety is a bigger thing now that they got sued.
Yeah.
And that's probably
The
another thing that
concussions
this
and all that stuff.
is the lawsuit. They want to try and save face when they go to court, which is another big part of it. It's a business, Mike. You got to understand, it is a business. I'm sure Goodell cares about these players. I'm sure he does. But the bottom line is, the NFL's bottom line is about saving face and making money. The players are a second part of it. They're not the main part. I understand the NFL needs players, but there will always be players. Player safety is important to me. I don't want to see guys get hurt or paralyzed. But that's the way the game is. That's the way it goes. And the bottom line is making money for the NFL. And that's what the NFL cares about, number one.
Okay, so pretty much you
Player
want
safety is
you want
second.
defensive guys flying around taking quarterbacks out every week and just crippling teams.
No, I want it to be old school football. I want
That's
it to be
pretty much what
football.
old school football
I
was.
want it to be before the Tom Brady rule. I want it to be where you can hit the quarterback. Not you brush up against the quarterback's head and you have a roughing
I
the
think
with
passer.
some of the
with-
rules have been a little.
with
yeah.
with the Philadelphia Eagles, the team that you and I love and will love forever. Those rules come back, we'll be crippled for the next decade.
Vic doesn't even get calls as it is.
But it would be worse.
It can't get much worse. As long as it's fair for everybody, that's fine. as far as rules are concerned. But I think the draft picks and the fines weren't enough. I think if you're gonna fine them, make it $1, $2, $3 million. Make them lose.
See, but now you're just counteracting yourself because then the team would just take that off the cap for next year and make it all back.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah, they could.
They could.
They could do that. That's fine. But do they want to still try and win games, especially with a quarterback and a team like they
seriously,
have?
what's $2-3 million to $150 million cap?
What's 500,000?
My point exactly.
So I'm
That's
saying
why
at least
this was
increase the
too
fine.
light.
No, I'm saying that the fines and the draft picks were too light.
That's what I'm saying.
This right here, Sean Payton for a full year, it's too much.
No.
It's just too much for me. I'm thinking 8 games.
He's the leader. Your leader, good or bad, takes the blunt of everything.
It would have been 8 games if he didn't lie straight up to Goodell's face.
What was he supposed to do?
Be a man and tell the truth.
But you're supposed to stick up for your team.
Okay, yes, to other teams,
Okay,
to other players.
But if he told the truth, he wouldn't hurt his team as much.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He'd
but
have been
he's
out
also going to
possibly
lose his
8 games.
reputation with his team as being their guy, as being the guy that they can look up to. It's like, oh, this guy just ratted us out. Oh, I don't want to play for him. He's a rat. I want to go somewhere else. Then eventually he loses his job because it's a lot easier to replace a coach than it is to replace a team. Sean Payton did what he should have done. Stick up for his team and tote the company line before he loses his team.
He needed to know the consequences, and this was the consequence for it.
Oh, yeah, he's going to know the consequences.
A whole full year, yes, because now, unfortunately, Payton has to be the example. He's the example of it.
And that's a shame because, to be honest, I think he had a very little involvement in this whole bounty thing. I think he knew about it, but I think it was one of those things where I don't want to know about it. You know what I mean? I think this was defensive coordinator Gregg Williams' mastermind plan, his scheme.
That's why he's out indefinitely.
Which he should be.
And I would agree. Someone like that probably should have got a lifetime ban. I would agree upon that because if he was the mastermind of it. Payton, I'll agree with the year. I think that's fine because if you're going to stand up for your team, you're going to sit there and take something that harsh and be the man that's going to be the face and stand up for your team. You got to be the man who's going to take that harsh of a punishment.
Which I applaud him for.
Okay.
For sticking with his team.
Yes.
And being a man like that for his team and not losing that locker room.
I still think he should have told the truth. Okay, but I understand as a former player and as a person within the locker room, being there and having that coach that's going to be there for you, not say anything, it's a good thing. But realistically, in the business, you don't lie to your boss. Unfortunately, he did. It's a business.
The NFL is
He's
a
business. He lied to his boss. So what happened? He got suspended.
He did. In my mind, he did the right thing by sticking up for his team. Well, with Sean Payton gone, who's taking his spot for the year? There's defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, who was just the head coach of the Rams. You got the offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael Jr. And then now there's a rumor that Sean Payton went and talked to Bill Parcells.
It's not a rumor. It actually did happen.
Yeah, it happened.
Well,
and they're supposed to have a meeting too, if I'm not mistaken.
The meeting was today.
What do you guys think?
I honestly think that's another topic for another time.
Just talk about it now. Come on. Anything gonna take that long? Just say what you gotta say about it.
I don't really have anything to say about it.
You really don't know really much what's going to be. It's just an opinion.
I really don't have an opinion on it.
I think Parcells might be a good move for the simple fact that it would be someone that Payton trusts. That even if the team succeeds, everything is set to know that, okay, Parcells just going to fade away into the sunset, whether it succeeds or not.
Okay, but if he did, he'd lose his eligibility for
another 5 years.
Yeah, which is probably why he's not going to do it. Okay, it may be the better of the moves, but that's probably why he's not going to do it, because all they need right now is just kind of a figurehead and keep the offense and defense the way it is.
And that's my point exactly. If you're giving me the 3 choices of Spagnuolo, Carmichael, and Parcells, I want Parcells because that way you can keep Spagnuolo with the defense, Carmichael with the offense, keep that continuity.
In all actuality, if you think about it, Okay, with Peyton being gone, what would be the point of the head coach at the moment?
Oh, figurehead, strictly.
Figurehead. Why don't we just put a cutout figure of Peyton, stick him right there? There we go. There's our head coach. Your offense is going to run, your offense is going to run with your offense coordinator. Your defense is going to run with defense coordinator. You're not really going to talk. Parcells not going to have a whole lot of input.
If that's the
Then-
case, let's just
Why-
have Brett Favre stand down there.
Yeah, there we
Swear to
go.
God, to say Favre watch.
Favre watch!
But, I mean, it really doesn't matter if they keep their offense and defense together. Now, if they bring one of the offensive coordinator into it, they bring the defensive coordinator into it,
That's why I don't
that's
like
where it's going to be issues.
because it's going to end up screwing with the programs, especially with the offensive coordinator.
And then
because
if they
that's-
succeed, you're going to demote him back down to offensive coordinator, demote him back down to defensive coordinator. He just got that taste of
which is exactly
Well,
why
they
Peyton
wouldn't
went to
call him the
Parcells.
head coach. They
No,
call him
intern.
an interim.
intern, which is understandable. Yeah, okay, then we're going to go. Yeah, but now you take
Still,
a chance of losing your guy
success.
because if he puts in success,
Mm-hmm.
now you may end up losing your offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator to another team.
Which is why I'd much rather outsource somebody who's later in his prime with a lot of respect, like a Bill Parcells.
Swear to God, if you say Bill Cowher, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
No.
Cowher still has a lot of game left if he
If
were
they were to
come
bring
back.
Cowher back or something like that, it would be for a head coaching position.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
got a
know.
lot of games left. To
Yeah, but on
coach
the
if
ride
he
over,
were to
that
come back.
dumb shit said Bill Cowher.
Oh yeah, because it would be nice to see him do
It
that.
would be nice, but it would change the dynamics of the team because Bill Cowher is a freaking running beast. He's running defense.
Yep.
That Saints aren't running defense. I think Bill Cowher would probably go more to a team that would have a good running and good
Which
defense.
is why I always thought he was going to go to the Giants, but that never turned out. Look at what Tom Coughlin's done. We'll see what happens.
So, until next time.
All right, guys.
All right.
Another topic for another day.
That was heated.
Yeah,
You
it
think?
was a nice
It
debate.
was emotional.
Yeah, it
It
was.
was emotional.
Definitely had some differing views on that. Guys, thanks for joining us for the latest episode of Sports Talk with the Jersey Guys. Make sure you catch us on this channel for another episode.